Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting session, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about action research in digital marketing. In this session, we will discuss how action research can revolutionize your digital marketing strategies, empowering you to make data driven decisions and achieve measurable results. Such new insights will enhance your digital marketing efforts through the power of action research. So, get ready to take your marketing campaigns to the next level. So, really interesting topic, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Calvas for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Calvas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have an amazing person as guest who has a vast and wonderful experience, international known and recognized speaker. He's a great human being and we always see him while contributing to the world and field by sharing his knowledge. So let me introduce him formally. He is a senior lecturer at the School of Multimedia Technology and Communication. He holds a PhD in marketing from Victoria University of the Wellington. His research interests include sponsorship, generational marketing, non-profit marketing, marketing communication, consumer behavior, and consumer culture. Moreover, his research publications have appeared in Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, Journal of Product and Brand Management, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research, Search Journal of Media and Communication Research, Asian Journal of Business Research, Malaysian Journal of Communication, among others. In addition to that, he also serves in the editorial board of scholarly various journals. Moreover, he has industry experience in banking and corporate branding before turning to academia. Last but not the least, he is a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Dr. Mohamad-Noor Salehhuddin Sharipudin. Welcome to the Calvas platform and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Haider, for the introduction. First thing first, I would like to thank to you because for inviting me for these sessions. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Can I
much.
continue?
Yeah, a soft reminder to the audience that Prof will be presenting and he would leave time for question answer session. If you have any question, you can write in comment section or you can email us at info@carvas.com. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Haider. Okay, so today I would like to share with you more to sharing sessions about action research in digital marketing. Sorry about that. My name is Mohamad-Noor. Okay, first I will like brief to you what is action research and what is digital marketing. For that, what you can do in action research, especially in digital marketing context. When we talk about action research, this is definitions that you need to consider before you conduct your research. Particularly, it's more to like a self form of collective, self-reflective inquiry that you need to understand the situation. For example, there's two types, like how you need to conduct this research. First, more to rationality and justice of their own social and educational practices, and second is participant understanding of thesis practices and the situation of which they can carry out these practices. So when we talk about action research, it's more to like collaborative. That's very important when we uh, conduct this research. Be more about collaborative. Next, we will discuss about the phases in action research that easy for you to understand. So this is again another definitions. Different scholar they have a different definition, interpretation in terms of action research, but this is a few scholar that I think I can share with you. When we talk about action research, it's the main characteristic traits of action research relate to collaboration between researcher and member of organization in order to solve organizational problem. More to like when you have a problem and you conduct action research and try to find solution to solve the problem. As compared to basic research, this is what usually we do is different, more to philosophy, theoretical. But then this is problem. You collaborate with the researcher and the practitioner and how to solve the problem in the organizations. There's three types of action research: positivist, interpretivist action research, and critical action research. When we talk about positivist, more to like quantitative, I think most of us aware about this kind of thing. Interpretivist more to like qualitative, and critical is I think it's the needs. I think it's more important in action research that we can conduct critical about certain issue, problem, especially in organizations setting. That's very important. Okay, obviously, when we talk about research, doesn't matter which type of research, we have advantages as well as disadvantages that you need to consider. In terms of advantages, when we talk about action research, we have high level of practical relevant to the business research. When we conduct research in action research, technically it's for solve the business problem, organization problem, more to a managerial perspective. So it could be quantitative or qualitative. So when we talk about action research, we can get the in-depth knowledge about particular problem in organization. So this is what are the advantages in action research. However, like I said, we also have disadvantages in this type of research. For instance, it's quite difficult to differentiate between action and research, and to ensure that sometimes we can't. It's hard for us to differentiate between action and research, and yeah, we need collaboration. We need information from the organization or company. Sometimes it's not easy for us to get permission from them. So sometimes it be delay in terms of completion of this action research. Numbers of reasons. Sometimes we need to get, because it's not easy for the company to give permission for us to do a research. Sometimes a little bit sensitive in terms of data. And even though if we get the data, it's quite hard for us to publish because we need to get the permission for them. Maybe it take time for them. And again, in terms of action research, lack of repeatability and rigor as compared to basic research. Okay, when we talk about action research, these are the program. We have three phases. First is problem identifications. Second is inventions. And last phase is evaluation. So we have three phases in action research before we can produce our report. So for your information, we have published a paper related to the impact of Web 2.0, especially in education context or education settings. Okay, when we next I explain but three phases in action research. When we talk about problem identification, we have four cycle that we need to consider. First is plan, actions, observe, and we have to reflect what we plan in the beginning. First, for example, I give example. Like first is plan. We have to identify what the problem. Obviously, we need, before we conduct research, we have to identify the problem in our research, the problem for the company or organizations. We need to develop a research questions and potential solution for this. This is how we plan. And second is actions. We design the problem statements, research questions, our scope and objective. Then we observe. This is a real situation we observe. For example, I'll give example like based on our research about the use of technology in education, specifically for academic students. So our aim is how can academic subject or courses make more interesting for the students. Sometimes with technology, we have to like, especially during COVID-19, it's not easy when we interact through online, especially most of, I think most of like lecturers or coordinator experience this kind of a problem. When we have online class, not many students will turn on the computer, turn on the video. And in terms of interaction, yeah, it's quite hard for us to for them to involve in every discussion. So we try to use technology in academic subjects. So we observe how technology we use. For example, we use Kahoot, quizzes, we use case study. They will put any I can't remember what the name. So from that, we observe the reaction of the students, whether they we need to observe their experience, their feedbacks, whether they prefer with this kind of tool. And then the last part, step 4, is more to reflect. And this is very important for us to make reflections, what we did for students. And then next is about the inventions. As it's quite similar. We have a 4-step plan. So we use the web 2.0. This is what I explained to you before. In actions, we design the tools related to the course that we would like to study, and we observe the students' understandings. That's very important, and we reflect whether this tool have an impact to the students in terms of their attitude, in terms of their experience, in terms of their interest. That's very important for us. Next is evaluations. That's after we done everything, we have to evaluate. Again, the step still the same. We have to plan, action, observe, and reflect. Okay, so we're done with action research. Hopefully, you can understand a little bit what is action research, what the difference between action research and other type of research, like a basic research. Then we move to digital marketing. I think most of you understand or know about digital marketing. So just quick definitions. Technically, is according to AMA, American Marketing Associations. When we talk about digital marketing, is activities, institutions, and processes facilitated by digital technology for creating, communicating, and delivering value for customer and other stakeholders. Nowadays, when we talk about industry practitioner, you cannot get rid of this technology. It's like a must for them. And if when we talk about technology, they keep moving the evolution technology. For example, like it started with Web 1.0, and now we have a Web 5.0. Maybe we can discuss after this. So this is a digital research in digital marketing. Technically, I think this paper from one of I can't remember this, one of paper. Okay. So technically, this is we have environment. In environment, we have like a contact, collaborator, competitors. This is our customer. This is how we use technology. And we second is a company, the brands or the firms, and we have the outcome that definitely we every time that we implement any marketing activity, we need to know the outcome in the market research as well as the strategy. Currently, all our activity, most of our activity, we use digital technology. So based on these numbers of issue that we can consider when we talk about action research in digital marketing. I don't know, for some reason, when I projected my PowerPoint, it's like not like it's what like I view from the PowerPoint, a little bit like weird. Is it true, Dr. Haider? Because in my PowerPoint, it's like a consumer behavior in one word.
Yes, I think proper the software has squeezed this, but it is readable and it is fine. Please go ahead.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have, I think about few research issue in digital marketing. For example, like consumer behavior. We have social media and UGC, user generated content, and platform and two-sided markets that we can consider. And search engine is very important for company. Most of company more and more for them to get this kind of thing. And last is contextual interactions. So if I can share with you, when we talk about consumer behavior, this is kind of thing how the customer and company perception, trust, attitude toward a brand, especially in the digital environment, as compared to non-digital environment. So I think a lot of research we can use or we can conduct, especially these current situations. And next is, like I said, like I mentioned just now, is about social media and user-generated content. Nowadays, more and more, I think it's a bit complicated nowadays for marketers, as well as well as the corporate communication in organization, because sometimes it's quite hard for us to manage review or comment or complaint from our customer. Nowadays it's easy for them because you just post on social media or online review, so everyone can read all the review. When we have a positive review, not a problem for us. But how about negative review? How we can uh, explain to our customer? So this is another uh, action research that we can consider. And next is a platform and two-sided market. Uh, so it's a platform, for example, like crowdsourcing, especially for fundraising, for example. So we can use this kind of thing that in our action research. And search engines, like I said, is how we can, for example, like predicts in terms of the algorithm, the clicks by our customer or our user. So it's very important for us to study. I think more and more company, they want us as a researcher to collaborate with them, and you can get like a grant from them to conduct this kind of study. And the last one is about contextual interactions, like in terms of the locations and the environment that is reported, and privacy. I'm not sure in other country, but I think most of country they have like a privacy acts. So this is how we can consider this concern the issue. Because we cannot simply give like promotion to our current customer or existing customer, because if we have to bind with the X, the privacy X, we cannot simply do this. Yeah, so this is very important for us. Okay, this is what I mentioned just now, the evolution of technology, more and more advanced. We talk about what Web 1.0, more to like one-way communication like website, and we move to Web 2.0 like social media, social networking site. But now we have Web 5.0. So how can the brand or organization cope with this technology? Because when you talk about technology, they will move pretty fast. So obviously, as a brand, as an organization, you have to keep your brand updated with the technology. This is how you position your brand as compared to your competitor. And again, we not just rely on technology, we also need to understand our target customer, whether they are digital immigrant or digital native. So yes, we have resources for advanced technology. However, we have to look at our target consumers. If they are boomers, older generation, whether it's okay for them to use like advanced technology. So again, this is kind of thing that researcher need to consider. So this is a step for action research. I think similar what we discussed, but in marketing or digital marketing context, we have to identify the problem, we develop research plan, we conduct research. It doesn't matter whether secondary data or primary data. It's up to this the nature of the research, and we analyze and report the finding. Then from the finding, from the report, we have to we have to take action, implement the activity. Okay, this is what we can use whatever technology. What I try to emphasize is our market segmentation. That's very important. This is like a basic model in communication. We have source, message, channel, and receiver. We as a brand, an organization, we need to understand who are our receiver, our target audience or target consumers. Like I said, if they are digital native, maybe we can use advanced technology. For example, like Gen Y or Gen Z, we can have advantage. However, if they are digital immigrants, like a boomer, 50 or 60 years and above, so we have to consider what kind of platform that we can use. So it depends on our target consumers. Again, there are numbers of factors to identify or segment our consumer. That's important. For example, like globalizations, digital technology, consumer empowerment, as well as financial crisis. And this is an example like how not only just web uh, evolution, intelligent evolution, we also have like marketing trends started 1.0 more to like a product centric, like it's how Ford produced the car, just black color based on products. But now we have marketing 5.0, like technology for humanity. More and more technology, you can like sort of more like human features, like AI. They have a human features in terms of the face expression, so this kind of thing. So this is like a good opportunity for us that can we approach a brand or organization to get a grant to conduct research, collaborate with them in terms of like action research as well as with digital technology or digital marketing. Okay. So this kind of thing, why we have to target our uh, audience or customer. Okay, I think uh, yeah, that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Prof. Really very interesting, and I enjoyed this session because the way you started it, and I love the way you just included your own paper by showing and relating it that what is action research, what is action research process, and I love this one, and definitely for our marketing students, I will ask my faculty member who are the marketing cluster so to read and go through your wonderful work and even cite it in their thesis and their papers, because I think these are the wonderful work they have to go through. And then very nicely you talked about the web from 2.0 to 5.0. What is the transition? The role of the technology itself is very important, and you also talked about the AI in the digital marketing, since nowadays we are more inclined towards the AI and other machine, that how it plays important role in that. And you also talked about the evolution of the technology, that how we are going to use it, the market segmentation and all these things. I think in a very short span of time, you included so many things which were very important for our audience to understand. These are the real things which are very important. And now we have certain questions for you, which I believe that your expert eye is very important for the illustration and consideration. So, should we start with the first question, please? Okay. So, Prof, the first question they want to ask, first they would like to comment that thank you for your wonderful presentation. And my question to you, Prof, is that what are the ethical considerations that needs to be taken into the account when conducting action research in digital marketing? Yes, please. A very nice question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haider. Okay, I think all of us as researcher aware our contribution, we have like human ethics uh, application that we have to get approved. And we not only just human ethics, when we collaborate with organizations or a brand, we also need to get consent from them. Sometimes it's not easy because they have to go through all our uh, proposal, whether we have like sensitive information that we can reveal. But usually, this is my experience. What we can do is we approach them, we submit our proposal for a research grant. Definitely, when we receive the grant, it's easy for us to conduct our research and we get consent from the company. And our side, we also can get human ethic approval from our university. This is how, if because when we would like to publish, definitely, usually the journal will request for the approval.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think these are the real suggestion which can help the our audience to understand regarding the different things. You are an expert, so definitely all whatever you are suggesting carries a very important role. And now, Prof, thank you for this wonderful answer. And now another question is, I think that is also a very pertinent to answer and illustrate for them. They want to ask that, Prof, what are the some common mistakes marketers make when implementing the digital marketing strategies, and how can action research help overcome them? So please explain for us. Yes, please.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Haider. Okay, like I said just now, we have three phases in action research. We start with problem identification. For each phases, we have four stage: plan, action, observe, and reflect. When we discuss with our potential like a company organization that we intend to conduct research, so we can get like what the problem. this technically is more to very straightforward. The problem that they would like us to uh, explore or study. From that, we start with problem identification. We do some exploration. We find the or identify the problem that the company concerns, and from that we come up with all the like things normal like problem statement, research question, what we can do for this kind of thing. And next, like I said, we have like inventions, how we can like do for this kind of problem. And that's very important. The next step about evaluations. After we done all this phases, we implement all the actions, we have to do some reflection, evaluations, or we call it post-mortem, whether what we did is achieve our objective and
Yeah.
organization objective. Because we work with them, we have to certify organization because we collaborate.
Very nice, wonderful, Prof. Once again, thank you. And I'm really enjoying the way you are giving answer and you are illustrating in a very wonderful way, in a simple way, so that anyone can understand easily. Thank you. And one another question they want to ask that Prof, would you like to explain for us that how can organizations foster a culture of curiosity, experimentation, and action in their digital marketing teams to drive continuous improvement, because sometimes there is a lack of implementation and encouragement for curiosity and experimentation because it is expensive. Yes, please.
Okay, thanks, Haider. I think this is practical questions.
Yeah.
As researcher, it's easy for us to say, okay, you have to improve, improve, improve. I give example
Yes.
like
Yeah.
mobile apps because I used to work in banking before. Nowadays, more and more bank they urge their customer to use mobile app for any transactions. Technically, it's good, but when especially for payday, it's quite hard for us to use the app because of traffics. Too many customer use the app at one time. You know, the payday we need to do some pay our mortgage, do some transaction, transfer the money. So sometimes it's easy for us to say, you just increase the bandwidth input of the capacity of the user, but it's quite expensive.
Yes.
The banks have to invest, and the traffic is only just maybe 2 or 3 days during the paydays, not like the entire month. Unless you have this kind of problem for entire month and keep repeating, then you have to think how to solve this kind of problem because it's cost. This is involve a lot of money. So when you propose to this
Yes.
bot, sometimes you need to have like very uh, evidence, conclusive idea, so that they can willing to invest, willing to pay for that.
Mhm.
But obviously, it's not easy when it's come to money.
Yes, very true, very true. And thank you very much for a real world example. I think this way we can explain in a simple way so that people can understand in a easy way as well. Thank you. And now, once again, there is interesting question, and they want to ask that, Prof, since you are the expert of this field, so please, would you like to enlighten us that what are the future trends and emerging technologies that will shape the landscape of action research in digital marketing, in your opinion? Yes, please.
Okay, thank you for the. I think that's good questions. Okay, nowadays more and more. company they are moving toward like technology. Okay, uh, yeah, we can invest on technology, but again, it depends on our target audience. This is like last slide that I emphasize. We can do all like metaverse anything, but again, whether our customer suitable to use this kind of, for example, metaverse. For young generation, Gen Z might, I think might okay. Even for Gen Z, you have to consider because not all of them have privilege to have all the technology devices. So it could be, for example, social class. If they are like, for example, like they have money to buy all the gadgets, maybe they familiar with those like technology. But sometimes some even the Gen Z, but because the family, not all of us like have a privilege to get money and buy all the gadgets. So this kind of thing, they have the disparity in terms of individual. So again, you have to identify your target audience, segment them, and try to find if suitable platform or channel that can reach your target consumer. That is very important. So when we talk about digital marketing, or even I give an example like in education situations. Nowadays, more and more students familiar with all the technology. It's easy for us. Yeah, but
Yeah.
when we talk about like advanced augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse, sometimes not all of them. I'm not sure about other country, but in Malaysia, even though they are young generation, Gen Z, not all of them are familiar or aware about this kind of technology. So yeah, I think they have a pro and con. If a company would like to be a trendsetter, they can start. So this is how we position our brand. We like to be a first brand to introduce, for example, in Malaysia or in Pakistan. We set the trend, rather than we be a follower. So again, it costs money. Whether your bot willing to listen to your idea, or they just okay, not we will not invest because yeah, it's not easy to convince them when it's come to money, right?
True, very true. And I think that's the great point that everything needs the money and proper understanding about your product. And to create awareness in the market is very important as well. And you have very nicely highlighted that when you are about to set the trend, you have to be the first mover. And the first mover is also a kind of risky because there is no awareness regarding the product and it requires extensive promotion and marketing strategies, which is very costly again. And sometimes organization they try to be the follower, not to be trendsetter, because of the too much R&D expenses. Really great answer, and I'm looking forward for this last wonderful question, which is again interesting and very intriguing. So your opinion would be matter a lot. The question is that, Prof, would you like to tell us about the potential challenges and limitations of implementing action research, digital marketing? How do you see the potential challenges, and what do you recommend for upcoming researchers, particularly? Yes, please.
Okay, based on my experience, sometimes when we talk about industry, academician, researcher, they speak different language. They are industry people, practitioner, very straightforward. This is problem, how to solve the problem. But for us, we have like a more theory, more philosophy, this kind of thing. So what we can do, we need to convince them that we understand their language. We know what they want, what report they want. But for us, we for our publication, we have another set. So we just deliver, we just try to fulfill what they want because we need, for example, especially if you like to get a fund from or grant from them, when you propose to them, you need to understand what they want. This is problem, what they want from our research, for example, reports, very straightforward, and how can they improve when we do evaluation, how can they improve the problem. So more to practical. They don't want all like theoretical, all the philosophy. For us, yes, for our article, paper, for publication, we do that. So we have to set off report.
Yes, true, very true. Thank you very much, Prof. And I think that is the real bridge between the academia and the industry that you need to fill that gap because how do you respond to the organization because they are interested to get the work done and to come up with the solutions for the problem. But in industry, we have certain systematic and organized process to follow, just like you mentioned, and given example of the theory and all these things, how it is related, and philosophies particularly. But the thing is that how we are going to convince the funding agency, particularly organizations, to sponsor our project and to go along with that, because I think that's the real contribution when we fill this gap of industry and academia. And this is what you have been doing, and you have been doing in a great way. And we would urge our audience that they should follow you for the greater understanding, and they should contact you for further guidance and learning as well. Thank you very much once again, Prof, for your wonderful presentation, the content, and great Q&A. And Prof, at the end of the session, we ask our each guest regarding their message to the world. So, what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, and educator? Yes, please.
Sorry, come again.
Uh,
Okay, do
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think for me, when we would like to do research and more to like how can our research give like social impacts. It's very important for me. Yeah. So yeah, everyone they have their own uh, interests. So, but we try to help to improve the world technically. Yeah. For example, like for me, I'm more to like because I have an autistic son. So I try to do some, for example, like sponsorships, more to social sponsorship. How can we help the charity? So this is kind of, we giving back to the community is very important for me.
Wow, very nice. Wonderful message you have given to the world, Prof. It means that real contribution back to the field and world at large because we have the global citizenship and we should be caring about our community and society and particularly this planet at large. And we are responsible for our part to play, and we should encourage other people as well to come up with the solutions for the problem, and how can we help each other in that collective responsibility and collective measures. So very nice message you have given to the world, really liked it. Thank you. And to the audience, that please do follow our distinguished guest speaker through his research work, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He's very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, the wonderful explanation and powerful content which the great speaker has already elaborated will help you to learn and develop your understanding regarding the action research. And that's all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Dr. Mohamad-Noor Salehhuddin. And I would also like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional questions about the information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly through his email or social media. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. At the next session, take care of yourself.